What's going on, CALIVEGANs, and welcome into another episode of the CALIVEGAN podcast, the one and only calisthenics podcast that focuses on helping vegan men build muscle and become better role model for veganism. It's also always going to be based on questions and answers. So you lead the way, and therefore, as you're joining in, please drop some questions in the comment section. Even if you're leaving, even if you're not staying, you can support me by leaving a question and giving me something to talk about. But today I come prepared, because in case there is not enough questions, I do not want to just skip an episode. So I will focus more on fat loss today, how to get shredded six-pack. But as you're joining in, you are free to ask questions around different topics that interest you, and obviously I know of. Otherwise, I don't know how I'm going to answer them. Today is upper body, right? We start our first set with one arm assisted pull-ups. So last week we did 3 sets of 7. That's a good volume. I don't need to go over 7 repetitions for my first exercise. But I also do not want to make the same mistake that I've done last time by making it more difficult with the lighter band, because it's too big of a jump, and it's not the right way to approach it. And so I will keep the same band, but I'm going to focus on 3 seconds slow negative. Perhaps a stop. Perhaps I should do actually stop here and then 1, 2. Well, no, let's just do 3 seconds negative. I should be able to do at least, let's aim for 5 reps. No, 4. Four is good. Oh yeah, that slow negative is a killer. I think best vegan protein options according to you. Let me... That was smooth. All right, best protein options according to me. There isn't, okay, a best protein option. There is no need for you to overthink it, to choose one food over the other. It's much better for you to just eat whatever feel best to you and whatever you like the most as well. Of course, with the mentality of choosing whole foods. So I'm not including here protein powders, fake meats, killing yourself with the beans just because you need to eat higher protein, okay? So what I eat most of the time is tofu, right? Because I don't know, it fits very well in the soup. And during the winter, I'm having soup in the evening. And it's just a little bit more compact than beans when it comes to calories and amount. So it just fits better into my diet. But in the past, I used to have the whole block of 200 grams of tofu. And I would also have legumes for lunch. So I would have legumes and legumes. Now I don't have legumes for lunch because I only eat bananas and lettuce. And in the evening, I don't have 200 grams of tofu. I just have 100 grams of tofu. I really don't overstress about protein. Really, the only reason why I don't eat only fruit is a matter of not being very convenient and sustainable for different reasons. But I wouldn't be scared of dropping my protein intake even more. It's literally a matter of it's easier to get enough calories with some legumes and grains into your diet, eating less volume and spending less money as well, because fruit can get expensive if you only eat fruit. The negative is definitely a killer. Do you do less carbs during dinner time? Wow. Yeah, adding a negative is definitely a killer. No, I don't do less carbs during the dinner time. It's just my diet is only carbs, basically, so carbs. If you eat a plant-based diet, it's carbs everywhere, and it's normal. You don't have to fear that. It's absolutely normal. But yeah, actually I had a new client recently, and he struggled with some health problem. He had to get surgery, and so he got demotivated to follow the program. He wasn't getting in touch with me, and he just started, so he didn't do much. The only thing he started to do was following his caloric target, right? And then finally, after many messages of mine, sent a voicemail to tell me, hey, what's going on? Let's do this. Come on, let's get to your goals. And so he finally gets back to me, and he shared multiple things that were going wrong. And one of the things was like, I feel tired, can't get stronger. I started to monitor my blood glucose, and I can see it's going up. That's why I have these crashes of energy. And first thing, I told him that that's not true. Like, these fear that people are throwing out there, it's absolute nonsense. Like, blood sugar spikes are just literally the natural process of digestion. You eat, blood sugar goes up. This is how it goes. There's nothing wrong with it. And the concept of when it goes down, then you crash in energy. That's also not true. That's not how it works. It goes down because your arteries are giving it to the body and gets stored so it can be used. Oh, these negatives are hard. One more set. Yeah, I think we have it for another one. So that was the first thing, right? So chill. Blood sugar is normal. Spikes in blood sugar are completely normal. These negatives are very good though, because when you're using a band, you're really getting a lot of help at the bottom. Then you create momentum towards the top. And so really slowing down the negative parts, I think it really helps develop strength and progression when you're using the band to assist your pull-ups. All right, so we were talking about my clients. Okay, blood sugar, don't worry. So the second thing that I told him, well, it is normal that as we are on a caloric deficit, you might feel more tired. But he also told me that because of the surgery and everything, he actually wasn't doing the training, so he wasn't consistent with the training. and this is what I often want people to focus on, because people start worrying about nutrition. I'm missing protein, I'm missing calories, I'm missing this, I'm missing that, but they're not doing the training. They're not being consistent. So why you wonder why you're not getting stronger if you're not training, right? It's not like you can train once every 2 weeks and you get stronger. That's not how it works. You stimulate, rest, repeat. If you stimulate, rest, you go to point zero. But there is a reason why I was feeling tired. And again, as I mentioned, he was not communicating with me. He disappeared, he got demotivated. And finally, during this conversation, he shares with me the measurements, because I told him, maybe we are on a caloric deficit that is actually too big for you. And that's why you have cravings, and that's why you get tired, you feel tired and you don't feel good to work out. So he shares the weight measurements with me, right? Something that I should have monitored like from the beginning, so I would have understood this earlier on. And the problem was that he was losing weight way too quickly. Now I don't remember exactly, but he was losing 1 kilogram per week or more. And even though some people can manage that, it's not the healthy way of doing it. It's not the sustainable way of doing it. It's like the hardcore way of doing it. Imagine, the sustainable way is half kilogram. 1 kilogram is double that. Okay, so if you're very overweight, perhaps you feel good losing 1 kilogram per week. But if you have a small belly, a big 10, 15 kilograms to lose, 1 kilogram per week is a little too fast. Or not, but it really depends how you feel, but it's definitely not the healthiest and most sustainable way to do it, to do fat loss. I think we leave it to 4 sets. And so yeah, what I wanted to say with that most people, want to lose fat, struggle with energy, and they want to build muscle and strength. And the solution for these things is very simple, like 99% of the time. You need to make sure that you eat enough calories, you're making healthy food choices. No, you don't have to worry about protein. And you need to have a training plan that makes sense, allows you to get stronger and be consistent with it. So these things are the main ones, you know, like obviously there are details within them, but what I noticed is that many people buy into the complex kind of answer that you find online. Oh, blood sugar spike. Oh, you're not eating this at the right time of the day. Oh, you should not be eating in the morning. All this stuff, right? They don't matter if you don't have the basics down. Wow, that was definitely a hard repetition. That was almost a face plant. Okay, this set is not going very well. Alright, so fat loss. There's few things, you know, like something that I really. Have you ever heard like people telling you that doing a deficit doesn't work because you have to develop habits, or doing a deficit is somewhat starving, stuff like that. And when you kind of go back to your diet, you will regain all the weight and all the fat that you've lost. There is some truth, and there is stuff that is not true in those things. So, the things that is not true is that a caloric deficit doesn't work, and you should be focusing on kind of changing your habits and approach a specific diet, because all the specific diets that are proposed out there, they are all coming together to create a caloric deficit. So it is the caloric deficit that allows you to lose fat. Okay, so do not make the mistake to approach, any diet that tells you you can eat whatever you want, because you might fail in your goal, right? Obviously, if you approach a diet that is only fruit, of course you will be more likely to eat as much fruit as you want and lose fat, as well as any other diet that kinds of perhaps eliminates you just eliminate all the processed food, let's say. But it really depends from your hunger level. I'm a very hungry person. With fruit is very difficult, I admit, but let's say you eat mostly banana throughout the day, you can still not lose fat if you overdo your calories. So calories are always the first. If you want to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit. And then the true part about this is that, all right, next set. So the true part of this story is that, yes, at the end of the day, in order to stay lean, stay shredded, it's going to come down to your eating habits overall, right? Like for me, because you can power through all the time, just be disciplined and everything. You can do that, but your body also needs to find a balance between feeling natural and being disciplined, right? So it is true that you need better habits if you want to stay lean. Just doing a deficit, it gets you somewhere, but you're probably going to regain some fat, right? Because I think whatever diet you try to lose fat is going to teach you something that you will keep with you, right? So like for me, for example, right, I've been more strict with the fruit. Now I am less strict, but since I'm eating so much fruit, it's much easier for me to stay like this. I don't have to do a lot of mental effort in order to be at this body fat and this lean. It's more coming from the habits that I have developed over time. It doesn't feel hard. In order to not making being even more shredded easy and not hard, I would have to improve my habits even more. So for me, it's like snacking. I'm anxious and I go snack. So if I wouldn't have these snacks, I would probably be even leaner with less effort. Okay, so Niwal is asking, you eat You only eat fruit? No, I don't. Why you don't eat nuts? I do eat nuts. And here's the thing, guys. I feel that many people, they watch one video and they assume kind of everything else. And also when it comes to the fruit or the nuts, I think you don't even make the effort to look at more content, right, to have a better picture. And it's okay, of course, to ask and I will answer, but I think it's an important message for everyone to stop assuming from one post and you create the picture around it, right? However, I would like to eat only fruits. That would be my long-term goal. I inverted the order of the exercises. But actually when it comes to nuts, I eat them more because of a taste and snacky reason. Actually, I haven't planned nuts in my diet, it's true, but I am eating them. And why do I try to avoid nuts? Well, they're high in calories, first of all, and yeah, so based on the concept that maintaining a low fat intake, you're optimizing your body functions and you are optimizing your health. If you eat nuts, you either really keep it to a very, very small portion, or it makes it easy to overeat the fat throughout the day. So I would say that's the main reason why I limit them. And also, you gotta understand that we are still wired to think that like this food is this and this food is that and this food is that from the protein propaganda, that we are trained to think that protein are only in animal products. Then you go vegan, you discovered, oh, that's not true. Protein is in everything. And then if you go a little bit deeper, you realize you don't need enough. You don't need to overstress about protein. Fruit has protein as well, even though it's low protein, but still. It's actually not low, it's the amount of protein that you need. And for the fat, the same concept applies. Fruit has fat, legumes have fat, right? So you don't need necessarily a fat source into your diet, because everything has got fat, right? And if you're like me, you have the goal of keeping the fat below 15% of your calories, it's actually more convenient not to have nuts. It's better to have maybe like I do, I add the avocado to the hummus. So I do get some fats from a fat source, but it's not much. Whew. I think that was 4 sets, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm thinking how to set up the next superset. Well, let's see if this works. I'm usually hidden. Maybe this is actually better. Maybe you should be here. Let's see. You can kind of see everything. Well, can't be perfect here. There is no space. What's the size of your arm? I never measured it. What is the best exercise for women just coming into their 50s to stay lean? So I think to be lean, let's keep in mind that diet is the number one, just like I mentioned earlier, right? So lean means you want low body fat, right? So diet has to be on point, and so you stick with your calories. Maintenance, you have developed good habits, you make good food choices, and you're portioning your food, making sure that you stay within your calorie target. So that's the first thing. And then when it comes to exercise, you want to find something that keeps your body to a minimal kind of amount of functional strength. Right? You don't have to do strength training, but you want to do something that allows you to be functional over time. So you can push up, you can, as you grow old, you can stand up without problem, no pains, you can pull yourself up. So basic body weight exercises will be good for that. So some full body workout that you do 3 times per week, some variation of pulling, Australian pull-ups, push-ups, and some squat variation, but do not keep it too simple for the squat. Okay, legs needs to be trained. So do some lunges, add some weight to the squats. Okay, do not limit yourself to body weight squat. And you can do just these 3 exercises 3 times per week, and you'll keep your body functional and looking good. What are we doing? Ten. And then another common mistake that people do when it comes to fat loss is not tracking their progress. So that's why people lose motivation. They don't know what have to be corrected when it comes to their diet, you know, because most people, when they're trying to lose fat, what do? They try intermittent fasting, they try to eat cleaner, they try to eat less. And okay, all of those things are good, but as I mentioned earlier, you are still attached to your habits, your way of being in that specific moment. So there might be behavior that you don't realize, but they're affecting your progress. Like maybe you're cooking with oil and you use 3-4 spoons of oil all the time, and perhaps you tend to go and snack on nuts, and each handful of nuts is going to add, I don't know, probably 100 plus calories to your caloric intake, right? 100 grams of nuts is about 550 calories, right? It's a very high in calories food. So you need to track your food. It's important, because if you've never done it and if you don't understand calories, tracking your food for 2 to 3 weeks is all you need to actually start to understand by yourself even what are the changes that you have to do. And then the other thing is actually tracking your weight, because even if you're a man, you want to build muscle and you want to see the scale going up, trust me, you're listening to this, you're probably a beginner, kind of skinny fat, maybe you have 10 kilograms of fat to lose, and you want to look muscular, right? You don't just want to build muscle, you want to have your abs, you know, the definition, you just don't want to be a block, right? And you will have to lose fat, and if you need to lose fat, the weight is going to go down. That doesn't mean you're not building muscle. As long as your strength is going up, you're in the right direction. Can you have a cheat day or cheat meals if you're trying to lose fat? Yes, you can. Do you need to have cheat days or cheat meals? Absolutely not. The end is going great. So here's the thing with the cheat meals and cheat days. I've learned this with my journey towards addiction, that your habits are your way of being yourself. So your brain has learned different habits, and when you change, you probably have this craving because your brain is telling you that the way to be happy, the way to do it is by repeating that behavior, right? So it is important to decompress. So you can go hard and stick to the diet and changing your habits, but it depends from person to person. For me, it's definitely like that. It gets to a point where you need to decompress, or otherwise you will just crash at some point and perhaps, eating whatever, completely give up on the diet because it felt too hard for you. So what a cheat day does is giving you this window of decompression. It allows you to give in to your bad habits. Is it good to do it? No. Like as I said earlier, you don't need necessarily a cheat day, and it's actually better if you don't. And that's why I give my client the choice to do it. Do you need a cheat day or you don't need a cheat day? And I love it because, I am worse than some of my clients. Some of my clients started the program and they felt amazing just doing full-on healthy choices, prioritizing food, never drink, never eat processed food. And that felt good. They didn't feel restricted. They actually felt pleasure in prioritizing health all the time. They just needed to know how to prioritize health all the time. Other people, they need a cheat day. They're okay with being disciplined 6 days per week, but one day they want to be free. And it works very well. All you have to do though is making sure that you're doing the previous thing. You're tracking your calories, you're tracking your weight measurements, and that you make sure that you have a target for your cheat day that allows you to stay within the caloric target of the whole week. Okay, because you can overdo your cheat day and destroy your progress. Whew. Alright guys, we have arrived to the end of today's episode. Thanks for the ones that have asked some questions. And if you are a vegan man who is struggling to build muscle and you're tired to wandering around the information that you find online because it hasn't been working for you, it's time to decide if you want to continue on that path or you want the solution that will actually allow you to become that better role model that you want to be for veganism by building a strong body and a strong mind. My CALIVEGAN program has helped already more than 300 vegan men build muscle, strength, feel great, and be more confident. And I will help you creating a calisthenics, well, I will not help you, I will create for you a tailored calisthenics workout, creating a progression in strength over time, supporting you with a plant-based diet that will allow you to lose fat and build muscle at the same time. And then of course you will have my support anytime you feel stuck. I will make sure to give you the information that you need to move forward. And if this sounds good, and if you are a vegan man who wants to build muscle with calisthenics, just drop me a DM saying CALIVEGAN and we'll have a chat about your fitness goals. And if you're watching the replay, like, subscribe, all good stuff. I'll see you in the next one.